Doom.
Mohit's journey to migrate to the US from his village in India through the forests of Central America has already pushed him to the edge. Now comes the most dangerous stretch yet, the Darien Gap, a 100-kilometer corridor of jungle. In 2023, over 500,000 migrants crossed it en route to the US, more than double the year before, and a staggering leap from just a few hundred a decade ago.
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਪਨਾਮਾ ਦੇ ਤੇ ਪੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਕੱਟਦੇ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਐਸੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਦੇ ਬੇਲਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਜਾਂ ਪੇੜ ਐਸੇ ਨੇ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਗਰ ਪਕੜ ਲਏ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਪੋਇਜ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ ਬੰਦਾ ਮਰ ਸੱਪ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਜੰਗਲੀ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਬੇਹੋਸ਼ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਐਸੇ ਇਲੂਜ਼ਨਸ ਆਣੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਪੋਇਜ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਨਾਲ
सफ़र स्टार्ट हुआ भाई जंगल वगैरह से चलना स्टार्ट हुआ नदी आ रही थी बीच में और कुछ वहाँ पे सिग्नल के लिए थोड़ी पन्नी वगैरह जो होती है पॉलीथीन वो बांध रखी उन्होंने नीली लाल तो उनके साथ साथ हमें सीधा चलना होता है
But on the third mountain, the jungle changed.
मिट्टी में से कोई मिट्टी में दबा हुआ है कोई ऐसे ही पड़ा है मतलब बदबू आ रही है कहीं से
The International Organization for Migration's Missing Migrants project recorded 174 deaths on the Darien route in 2024. Officials cautioned the real total could be higher, since many bodies are not recovered in such remote terrain.
ये जो हाथ में ऑरेंज कलर के बैट दिख रहे हैं भाई ये है माफिया के लिए तो इनको देख के कोई कुछ नहीं बोलेगा ये नहीं होंगे तो आपको प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी बाहर भाई माफिया बहुत ज़्यादा है यहाँ पे
Mohit and his brother reach an army-run camp in Panama. They think it's a checkpoint for safety. It's not.
जैसे जो पनामा होता है वहाँ पे माफिया से बचाने के लिए आर्मी तैनात होती है पूरे पनामा जंगल में फिर हम समझ गए थे कि बस अब ये बंदे इकट्ठा कर रही है एक फ्लाइट और भेजने के लिए इंडिया तो हमने रात को ही अपने डोंगर के पास फ़ोन किया कि कुछ भी करके हम यहाँ से निकालो वरना ये वापस इंडिया भेज दें
Flagged for deportation, a desperate Mohit and his brother make a run for it.
तो दूसरे दिन जैसे हम भाग के बैठे एक गाड़ी हमें आ गई तो हमें सोच लगा कि वो हमारी गाड़ी है बट उस गाड़ी में बैठने के बाद पता चलता है कि ये कोई और बंदा है ये माफिया है ये हमारे डोंगर के बंदे नहीं है फिर हमें रियलाइज हुआ कि अब हम हो गए किडनैप
Across the Darien, it's a pattern. The jungle is carved up by rival mafia groups. They control the routes. They control the violence.
ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਫੀਆ ਪਏਗਾ ਉਹ ਕੁਝ ਏਜੰਟ ਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੋਬਾਈਲ ਖੋਲ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਈਵਨ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾਏ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਗਰ ਮਾਫੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਕੱਪੜਾ ਪਸੰਦ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਕੱਪੜਾ ਵੀ ਉਤਰਵਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਔਰ ਕੁਝ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਨਾਲ ਈਵਨ ਤੱਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੇਪ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ
Mohit is now trapped, crammed into a tiny room with no way to reach out for help.
Yeah, and then you have to pay for their release. It just... At what point do you realize it might have been better just to stay at home? Like, how many lives get lost? How many lives get lost through doing things like that? Trying to better your life instead of trying to make your life where you are better. It like the grass is greener on the other side. Like, that's the thing. I go to India and I'm like, heck, I could have a great life here. People in India are looking at videos of the US and they're like, oh, I could have a great life there. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what, you're just you have to choose. You have to be able to just make a life. That's the goal. Just making a life. As long as you just commit to it and you realize that I need to do this for myself, just start. Just start. You just have to start. No matter what it is, you just start. That's the hardest part. The hardest part is starting. Like, heck, I've been on YouTube for 2009. Since YouTube started, I was a kid. I've been on YouTube since 2009. The hardest part is just starting and keeping up with it. That is really the hardest part. But you have to keep up with it. You have to continue. You have to commit to it. It's like that with everything. You need to put in the time. You need to put in the effort in order to grow.
और ना वो खाने का दे रहे थे उनके पास
Or else you get used.
हथियार वगैरह होते थे किसी को भी ऐसे कोई बोल रहा है उसको आगे पट दही से चाटा लगा रहे हैं मार रहे हैं लात मार रहे हैं नहीं जैसे मैं और मेरा भाई साथ में था तो मेरी तो और ज़्यादा टेंशन बढ़ गई थी क्योंकि अगर मैं अकेला होता, एक वो अलग होता, तो शायद एक तो सही सलामत पहुंच जाता, एक तो जिंदा रहता.
The ransom, $1,500 a head. Paid by his family via agents from India, through Forex and crypto wallets, a system that's designed to disappear.
Yep.
ਬਗੈਰ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਪੈਸਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਜੋ ਪੈਸਾ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਡਿਜੀਟਲ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਸਾ ਕਨਵਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਪੋਜ਼ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਲਟ ਹੈ ਫੈਂਟਮ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੈਸਾ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਫਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਿਸ ਵਰਲਡ 'ਚ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਟ੍ਰੇਸ ਹੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ
After Mohit is released, he pushes on through Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras on horseback into Guatemala. Then came Tapachula in Mexico. After 6 months and 13 countries, Mohit has made it. America is finally in sight.
Mexico. Problem Mexico. जैसे ही हमने मेक्सिको से अमेरिका की तरफ
Carrying sticks did not look
तो हमारे अंदर बहुत
suspicious.
खुशी थी कि फाइनली हमने वो कर लिया जो हम सोच के आए थे, जो करना था हमें. अमेरिका में एंट्री होगी भाई आज क्या देख लो दवा रही.
We need more border patrol. We really do. If they just climbed it and came across the other end, we need more border patrol. I saw that there was a call out for hiring more. We do. If you could just climb over it and walk away without stepping on a landmine or something, we need more border patrol.
Crossing into San Diego should have been the end. Instead, everything changed again.
और हमारी किस्मत में क्या लिखा था कि जिस दिन हमने बॉर्डर क्रॉस किया, मतलब मेक्सिको से अमेरिका में घुसे, उसी दिन हमें न्यूज़ पता चली कि ट्रंप ने इलेक्शन जीत लिया. जिस चीज़ का हमें डर था हमारे साथ वही हुआ.
Good.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which
Yes. Yes.
they came.
In the first 100 days of President Donald Trump's return, arrests surged, deportations sped up, and second chances disappeared. Crossing into the US was no longer the finish line, just the start of a harsher chapter. Indians now make up the third largest group of undocumented immigrants in the US, after Mexicans and Salvadorans, according to recent estimates.
Administrative data that is put out by the government estimates total Indian irregular migration at about 220,000. That's a stock. That's a low number compared to estimates put out by scholarly and think tank assessments using demographic modeling, which put it as high as 750,000.
Well, the reason why that is a lot of people became citizens. They paid for fake French passports and became citizens as soon as they got here. So now they have a U.S. passport. Like I said, the majority of people, when my father was getting his citizenship, the majority of them were all Indian. So they got here and then they became a citizen. Good job. You utilized the law, you broke the law, you took advantage of it, you utilized it for yourself, but you're a citizen now. So it's like, okay, you have yourself a passport, you have yourself a name that's registered with the U.S. government, you have yourself a social security number that's yours, that's registered with the government. You're not stealing someone's ID at that point because it's all yours. You've registered with the government. So at that point, I'm like, they're citizens, so they're being kept track of. But they got here illegally, so they were originally an illegal immigrant, but they're no longer illegal. They took advantage of the system, they played it, and they became citizens. So they are citizens now, but they weren't when they got here. There are a lot of people who utilized it that way. They got here, and then they went to file immediately to become a U.S. citizen. Just to get around it so this doesn't happen to them, just so they don't get deported.
For 21-year-old Inderjeet from Punjab, it was his fourth attempt in 2 years. What he didn't know was what he was walking into.
ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਸੀਗਾ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਹੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦਾ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਕ੍ਰਾਸ ਕਰਿਆ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਗੇ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਪੈਟਰੋਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਖੜੀ ਸੀਗੀ.
For most undocumented migrants, crossing into the US isn't an escape. It's a surrender to seek asylum. And getting found by Border Patrol is the first step to formally request for protection.
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਪੈਟਰੋਲ ਨੇ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਕਰਿਆ, ਬਾਰਡਰ ਪੈਟਰੋਲ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨੇੜੇ ਉਸ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਸੈਨ ਡਿਏਗੋ ਡਿਟੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਗਏ. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 12 ਦਿਨ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੱਖੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਧਰਵਾਤੇ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਹੀ ਕੱਪੜਾ ਰੱਖਣ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਰੱਖ ਲਓ, ਇੱਕ ਰੱਖੋ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਈਸ 'ਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਦਾ 72 ਘੰਟਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਅੰਦਰ ਕੇਸ ਲਗਾਉਣਾ ਗਾ।
In the United States, ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, handles everything from detention to deportation.
As of right now, the estimate is that something on the order of 85 to 90% of all ICE facilities are privately owned and run by for-profit prison companies. The conditions in them, of course, are somewhat opaque. This is a problem. It's not a process open even, as you've seen, to members of the US Congress that have tried to...
They can always leave. I hate this argument that the detention centers are harsh. They're choosing to be in those detention centers. They can always turn around and leave. It's that simple. I don't want my job, my taxpayer dollars, to go and facilitate people who came here illegally. Sure, it sucks. A lot of them probably have really hard lives back home. But that doesn't mean I should pay for them to have a better life. This isn't, America isn't a socialist society. It's a capitalistic society. You get what you put into something. We're a for-profit society.
Find out. Bottom line, even though this is not supposed to be a criminal process, it feels deeply punitive.
It is. Illegal. They're illegal. They're not a U.S. citizen. They're not a national. They didn't get a visa. They didn't get a passport. They came in illegally. They've broken the law. I don't understand how people try to argue anything else. They've broken the law. It's that simple. I shouldn't be paying for them to be fed to begin with. They should starve them in the cages. If it was my choice, I wouldn't pay into that. I'd let them starve. I wouldn't want I wish I could select what my taxpayer dollars go to. I'd have most of it go for Border Patrol and ICE, because in the end, I'd be paying less in the long run. Because I wouldn't have to pay for these illegal immigrants' housings. I wouldn't have to pay for them running in debt, and then taxpayer dollars having to go up because these illegal immigrants took out a ton of money and were never able to pay it back because they weren't even U.S. citizens to begin with, and they don't even pay taxes on top of that, so they're not even have to put anything back into the system. I hate how people try to turn it around to be this completely different thing. It's not. It's not. It's absolutely not. They've broken the law. They deserve to be in cages. That's simple. If they want to go home, they can go home. That's simple. If I break the law, I deserve to be in a cage. It's that simple. It's that simple. They've done nothing wrong. They broke the law.
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰਹਿਣ ਲਈ ਗੱਦੇ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀਗੇ, ਉੱਤੇ ਲੈਣ ਲਈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਿਲਵਰ ਪੇਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬਲੈਂਕਟ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਬਲੈਂਕਟ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ।
They keep you warm.
ਬਸ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਸੌਣ ਲਈ ਉਹ ਪੂਰੇ 4-5 ਘੰਟੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਟਾਰਚਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਜਗਾਉਣਾ, ਕਦੇ ਗੇਟ ਖੜਕਾ ਦੇਣਾ।
Because the goal is for you to go home. That person working has to pay for you to be there. Do you think he wants to pay for you to be there? Like, I hate these people thinking about me. No. No. What about me? That's the thing. I'm doing the same thing they are. I'm thinking about myself. My taxpayer dollars, my money is having to go to support this person who broke the law and paid thousands of dollars to criminal organizations to break the law to get here. That money could have been used as an investment in something. No, instead, they decided to pay for someone to break the law and expect someone like me to feel shameful. No, you broke the law. There's no discussion there. The law is broken.
ਬਸ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੀਗਾ, ਏਸੀ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਫੁੱਲ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੰਦੇ, ਐਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਏਸੀ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਹੀਟਰ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੰਦੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਰਨ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਫੀਵਰ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਫੀਵਰ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ।
You can leave.
Inderjeet sat in detention, President Trump called for faster deportations and sealed borders. His re-election marked a shift. For US officials, the focus was clear: enforcement.
For the 4 years before January 20th, we saw huge increases in every other nationality. India, I think, peaked out in the 80,000 range for, I think it's 2023. So more than we'd ever seen before. Well, things are very different at the border today. Since the election of President Trump, January 20th, the numbers are markedly down. But in current conditions now, there's the end game is a return to India or...
This is pretty much just trying to make people feel like breaking the law isn't breaking the law. This is a documentary just about the process of it's called Inside the Illegal Dunki Route Migrants Take from India to the US. So it's not just Punjab, it's all over India, and how they take Indians and then they take them to the US illegally. But that's the thing. It's like at that point they were trying to gain sympathy for these people who broke the law. I don't know how you gain sympathy for someone who broke the law. I know a lot of people in the U.S. somehow have sympathy for people who break the law all the time, but the U.S. is very confusing. But it's like, if someone breaks the law, they've broken the law. You deserve the punishment for the crime. That's just how it is. It's just that simple. If you don't deserve to be here, you don't deserve to be here. If I didn't get my visa for India, I wouldn't be allowed to be there. It's that simple. It's that simple. I'm not going to cross the dirt paths and enter a nation illegally, because that makes me break the law, and it makes me disrespect that nation. They don't deserve to know that I'm there. I don't know how people try to do these mental gymnastics trying to rationalize breaking a nation's law.
Wherever the person may be from.
Unknown to Inderjeet, his fate was effectively decided.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਫੀਸਰ ਲਿਸਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਆਨਸਰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਲੈਪਿੰਗ ਕਰੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਹੋਗੇ
February 4th, 2025, a deportation flight takes off for India, and Inderjeet is among the 104 on board.
ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ ਕੜੀਆਂ ਲਾਈਆਂ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਤੇ ਬੀੜੀਆਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਢੱਤੋਂ ਦੀ ਸੰਗਲ ਬੰਨ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਲੈ ਗਏ
After a brief layover, Inderjeet realized the plane's destination.
ਜਦੋਂ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਉਦੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ 5 ਘੰਟੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਲੈਂਡ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾਗਾ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਰੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ
Barely 2 weeks in America, Inderjeet's journey ended where it began, back home in Punjab. But across the state, there was uproar.
ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦਾ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਐਮਬੈਸੀ ਦੇ ਹਵਾਲੇ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਐਮਬੈਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਗੋਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਤੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਚਾੜ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਦੇ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਅਧਿਕਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ
Again, why are you trying to have me feel sympathy for people who broke the law? They broke the law. They belong in a cage. What human rights do they have? You break the law, you get chained up and sent home, or you break the law, you get locked away and they throw away the key. Which one would you rather have? It's so stupid. What this person, it's just a typical politician, basically, trying to talk about how people deserve more. People, it's just like, no. People choose what their lives will lead to. Yes, it sucks when people are born in dire straits, but at the same time, you can make something of yourself. You can choose to do more. You can choose to do something different. It is insane hearing it and then talking about how they deserve rights when they broke the law. They have no rights, especially in the U.S. They have absolutely no rights in the U.S. We could put them on an island, throw away the key. I think we need to go back to like Australia. The origins of Australia, it was a prison island. They just throw all the convicts there. We need to do that. We really need to do that. Just leave them all on an island. Anyone who's an illegal immigrant, just drop them on an island, leave them there, let them battle royale it out themselves. The last who survives can go home. Not to the U.S., to their own nation.
ਉਲੰਘਣਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਬੇੜੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਜਕੜ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਕੋਈ
Yeah, they're criminals.
ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਜੁਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ
See, you see, they haven't committed a huge crime. They've committed a crime. They have committed a crime. It's that simple. It's that simple. They have committed a crime. It's so stupid. I don't get this. I will never understand this mindset.
ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਟੈਰਰਿਸਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ
Process that's in place now has been in place for decades. The difference
Yep.
now is that we're being more successful. There's been a dramatic reduction in people trying to cross illegally from all over
We're
the
processing
world.
it. That's it. That's it. We're
But at
processing
the
it.
heart of America's border politics lies a contradiction. Undocumented migrants are unwanted, yet essential.
No, they're not.
The tight US labor market and the fact that the average American
They are not. They are not essential. Anyone who believes that lie is kidding themselves. They are a slave labor. It's plain and simple. Illegal immigrants are a slave labor. It's either you pay someone a work visa, which I think is like 10% of what a U.S. citizen gets paid, or you get an illegal immigrant and give them 1% of what a U.S. Citizen gets paid. It's slave labor. I hate people trying to say they are necessary for the economy. They are not. We have homeless people who don't have jobs. There are jobs that are available for people. If we're more harsh, especially with like not allowing these people to just sit around and not work for a living, if we're more harsh about that, then guess what? Everyone will pick up a hoe and start working. The problem is the companies will be unhappy with that because guess what? Now they actually have to pay the right amount of money. The thing is, because they're able to pay these illegal immigrants 1% of what a U.S. citizen gets paid, guess what? We're not going to be able to get any foreign workers in who actually want to come in on a work visa. Guess why? Because they have to get paid 10% of what a U.S. citizen gets paid. So anyone who wants to do it the correct way can't get here the correct way because guess what? The jobs are going to illegal immigrants, not U.S. work visa immigrants. So in the end, it's the companies and these illegal immigrants who are taking the visas from people who are wanting to apply for them. Because the companies, guess what? See that they can pay an Indian, a Mexican, a Brazilian pennies to the dollar and get away with it. And even more so, they don't have to write it off in taxes. They don't have to file it that, oh, I have these workers. Because guess what? They're undocumented. They don't have to report them. I hate the argument that America needs illegal immigrants to function. It doesn't. We don't. We need migrants to function, sure. We would need a work labor force where we can get work visas to those foreigners who want to work to start a life, who want to get 10%, but that's still more than 1% what they would have gotten paid if they got here. The whole thing makes no sense. It's absolutely ridiculous. I hate that mindset.
is now moving up the skill ladder and is unwilling to work for the wages that make American agriculture, American industry, construction sector, retail sectors efficient and productive, means that there is a lot of demand on the part of US employers for these workers.
Yeah, because they're cheap.
Despite the crackdowns, the flow hasn't stopped.
They are
Even
cheap.
After 4 failed attempts, debt, detention, and deportation, Inderjeet hasn't let go. The obsession lives on.
5 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ 5 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਡੈਪੂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਜੇ 5 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਸੈਲਮ ਨਾ ਬੰਦ ਹੋਈ ਬੈਗਰੂਨ ਚਾਹੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਯੂਐਸ ਦਾ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਪੂਰਾ ਆਪਦਾ ਕਰਨਾਗਾ
Once someone is formally deported, their second attempt to illegally enter the United States results in prosecution on a felony charge. They can get over a year in jail for that activity, and then you'll be removed quickly.
This is just nuts.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, wait,